I'm Gold Derby News and Features Editor Ray Richmond, and I'm welcoming Weronika Tofilska, who directed the first 4 episodes of the Netflix limited series Baby Reindeer, to our Gold Derby Meet the Emmy nominees TV directors panel. Weronika, I think a lot of people may be hearing your name for the first time, even though you've been writing and directing for a while, particularly in Europe. What do you think sold Baby Reindeer creator, writer, and star Richard Gadd on you as one of the 2 directors for the project?
Oh, wow. Hi, first of all, that is a tough question for me to answer, but I mean, I definitely felt extremely passionate about the project from the moment I read the script. So I was going in with just a lot of love for it and a lot of conviction in terms of how I saw it. And I was just hoping that that really matches up with what Richard and the producers were seeing as well. Because obviously they were developing this project for years before I even entered the room. And so I think there was a common ground already in terms of what I thought the show should look like and should feel like. And I think that's really important. It was very much an interview process. And during that interview, I basically sold what my idea was, which was that we basically inside Donny's head for the whole duration of the show, and we're making it extremely subjective, and the world kind of reflects everything that this character feels, and that I think that was my pitch, and I got the job. So I hope that was it.
I think a lot of people go into this hearing, well, it's about a stalker in a guy, but you don't realize until you really start watching it, especially in the 4th episode where you're nominated for, that it really is about how damaged this guy is. And I give him so much credit for copping to that, to all of the issues he had, and really sort of almost inviting all of this to happen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think from the moment I started reading the script, I had this very strong feeling that it's not a show about a stalker. I mean, first of all, it's a show about Donny. So who's getting stalked. And the more I read, especially when I read episode 4, the more I realized that it's really a character study, and it's really kind of like look inwards. A sort of gradual kind of peeling of different layers of this character, Donny's character, and then we see all the characters through his eyes, and how he saw them. That's why it was so important to keep it very subjective, and so we see how people are affecting him and the decisions he's making based on how he sees those people. So it is very much like internal journey.
What a gift for a director to have talent like Richard and Jessica Gunning and Nava Mal and Tom Goodman Hill to direct. I mean, what an embarrassment of riches.
I know. I think, again, coming back to the script, the characters were so beautifully written and defined and complex that I think a lot of actors wanted the roles. So we were in this extremely lucky position that we were auditioning, and we were reading with a lot of actors, and people were willing to come back multiple times for the roles, and we were doing chemistry reads with Richard, and so obviously like almost everyone was reading for the role. I mean, everyone really, apart from Richard.
Right.
Who was already cast. Yeah. So and it was amazing, that people were willing to do it, people who are very established in the UK TV and film industry. And in case of Jess Gunning, that was such an important part of the casting, and we just felt so lucky that we got to find her. Yeah.
How would you describe your working relationship with Richard on the set? Were there any bumps along the way? I mean, knowing it's about his real life experience, did he ever ask you to alter anything to better reflect the truth, or were there any difficulties?
No, I mean, there's always, everyone who works on set, there's like every day is like 100,000 difficulties, obviously, but no, it was a very good collaboration, I think, and we really did a lot of conversations beforehand, because we were very aware that we don't want to get into any conversations, complex conversations like that on set. So it was important that we, that I share with him as much as I can what we're planning to do, our shot list, and kind of go through things and talk about our plan, and then basically, so he knew what's happening. So he was never kind of feeling, surprised by what we're doing. But then on set, it was actually quite traditional sort of actor-director relationship in that way. And he also was acting, so he couldn't, he had to be in it, and it was very fast, so we just kept going. Yeah.
Let's talk specifically, Veronica, about the episode you received your Emmy nomination for, the fourth one, which was so hero. I wasn't surprised that's what you got the nomination for, because it's so harrowing and powerful, and it shifted that whole narrative, as we talked about, from Donnie being a victim of stalker Martha to the drugging and sexual abuse he endured at the hands of the manipulative predator Darren. It really was almost like doing a different movie than the rest of the series.
Yes, I think when I read the script, I felt that it's a sort of like a standalone episode. It's like you show the whole journey of a character, from like innocence to kind of, losing that innocence, really. And it's kind of like a catharsis in the end of that episode. So it felt like a little feature, it's a sort of 45-minute, so a longer episode than the other episodes. And it was incredible as well, because the tone shifts so much, and that was very exciting for me as a director, and then for the DP as well, Krzysztof Trojnar, like how to kind of take the audience on that journey. So you start with like quite fun scenes, the scenes when he's kind of gigging and making a fool out of himself in the pub. And then like slowly you sort of establish this relationship with Darian, and he kind of gets sucked in, and the episode gets progressively darker and more disturbing. But again, we were sort of hoping that by really staying subjective to what he sees and how he's experiencing things, we will kind of get there with him. And although the tone shifts so much from comedy to drama to, borderline horror, really, that because we're still with him emotionally all the time, all the way, that's what's going to kind of glue it all together.
I would imagine there were a lot of particular challenges, though, in that episode specifically, depicting such a bleak and traumatic series of moments. And as you say, it's a standalone episode, but far less comedy, as I recall, in that episode than in the rest. I mean, this is just, I know that darkness and comedy go together these days, but oh my God, it was just breathtakingly bleak.
Yes, I mean, there's moments of lightness. I think that's the brilliance of Richard's writing, that even in the kind of most disturbing moments, when Darren starts doing this dance, there is this sort of a tragic comic element to it all, and we try to capture that. But yeah, I mean, we definitely knew from the beginning this is like the emotional core of the whole show. And by also establishing moments of darkness in episodes 1, 2, 3, we kind of gradually taking the audience there. But then you did need the counterpoints. That's why when we had these comedy scenes in Edinburgh, we really leaned into the fun of it as well. And we kind of tried to make it like extremely exciting for him, with kind of like fast camera moves and a lot of music, so we really felt like, the beginning of the episode has to have that feeling of fun and excitement, because we knew what's coming, and we had to understand why Donnie also like falls for it, because
that was done pretty believably. We could see that. I mean, it was all about his career, and oh my God, it's my big break.
Yeah, exactly. That was really important for sure.
We're going to wrap things there. All 7 episodes of Baby Reindeer stream on Netflix. Weronika Tofilska,
thank you.
Best of
Thank
luck.
You so much.
Best of luck at forthcoming Emmys and in September. And thanks for joining us at Gold Derby.
Thank you very much.